Okay.
Fire Emblem. Engage.
So, I was able to beat Dead Space actually right before you messaged me, so that's out of the
Oh,
way.
cool.
I'd forgotten most of it. I forgot the bitch actually betrays you.
See, I couldn't forget that because even though she was not the only female who appeared in game, for whatever reason, her model had the largest milkers of any character in the game.
Mhm.
It was impossible to forget that. They were huge.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to figure out that your girlfriend was imaginary, though. Like, I saw that coming, and I
See,
didn't
I
remember it.
I knew that was coming in the opening fucking cutscene because they explained that the dude's an engineer. I was like, oh yeah, she's imaginary. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Yeah. God damn it, for some reason, I got signed out of all my accounts on my computer, and I have to re-sign back into everything. This is really annoying. I don't appreciate it. Class after class of ugly, ugly children. Okay. I think we are live. Transmitting to all 666 countries in the world. And I cannot access Twitter on my PC because I got signed out without my permission. It's not a bad idea to get signed out of all your shit every now and then, I guess, but that is annoying. Okay. So it is kind of late, so I don't expect a ton of people to show up, and I also don't expect I'm going to go terribly long, but I don't have to get up super early tomorrow or anything, so why not? Alright, let's see here.
So I turned myself into getting cucked out of my own TV show morning. The news that Rick and Morty creator and star Justin Roiland has been given the axe.
Is it the least
By the
surprising
way,
thing ever that he ended up being a
I'm
domestic
pretty good at
violence offender?
I think.
That's the thing. It's just allegations.
So I add this,
Right.
stir it.
It's a story.
chop
I
it.
haven't read the story, so I
Wait.
don't know if this is like a slam dunk case or not.
It turned out really
But
well.
it's allegations. And the allegation has been enough to take this guy being the co-creator.
That's right.
And he's also the
I feel
main
weird
voice
giving you
actor. So
leftovers.
like it's funny because Rick and Morty will continue. The talented and dedicated crew are hard at work on season 7.
Jesus Christ, they're up to season 7.
But the most important thing is he is the voice of Rick and he is the voice of Morty. So not only is he the voice of the two most important characters in the show, but he's also the voice of many of the characters.
Oh,
so like,
Lapis. I wanted
aside
to
from
thank you
that,
for all of your
aside
support in our
from
recent battles.
he's like the lead writer
Oh,
and
I
again the
didn't really
co-creator.
do much
so
out
like
there.
he's basically it's his show.
I was
And the other
just
dude's
following
just
your
his friend
lead.
who kind of like
You
tagged
don't have to
along.
thank me for that, Divine One. There were lots of
So
other
it's
more skilled
it's
warriors in those battles.
incredible to me that they're
You should thank
continuing
them
with this
instead.
thing. I mean, like I get it because lots of money, but
Lapis, please. You're
what's the
strong and you
plan
think
to make
fast.
that work?
You should have confidence in your abilities.
Because
Confidence? I don't know about that.
I mean, odds are good it'll just run for another couple seasons because of the momentum they had, and then it'll be done. Right? That's probably what
yeah.
happens here.
I'm
because
thrilled to be a
like
retainer, but
Comedy
everyone else is
Central
much more
basically
qualified.
owns South
not
Park
even a
now,
noble.
not Matt and Trey, and that's why Matt and Trey stay on is
I
because they
wouldn't
don't
want to
want
sound
them
arrogant
to
when I rank
recast
so
the
far
voices.
beneath everyone
But that's
else.
basically what they would have to do if, for whatever reason, Matt
Wow.
or Trey was
You're
sent
pretty
home
hard on
because they
yourself,
do.
huh?
The two of
I
them
guess
do
that can be a
most
good
of
motivator.
the voices. So it's like, okay, so
But you
aside
shouldn't
from the
compare
fact that
yourself
you
to
know they're,
others like
they're
that.
the lead writers
Everyone
and
has
they're in
different
charge of putting
skills.
most of this shit together, they're also the ones who actually create the content and perform the roles.
Be a little more kind
So
to
you know, if one of
yourself,
them's
okay?
gone, it's all like, well,
Like I
gee,
said,
you know,
you've
the show's
earned a bit of
basically over at that
confidence.
point. You'd have to recast it. So what happens if they recast it?
Well,
you know,
Divine One,
it- Recast Rick and Morty? That'd be weird.
I'm not sure what to say to all of that. I'm not used to being complimented like this. I should go. Please excuse
Yeah,
me.
I don't know. I mean, I don't watch the show, so it doesn't really mean anything to me, but it seems doomed
Lapis
for
sounds
failure.
so sure that she doesn't really belong here. There has to be some way to help her work past that mindset.
And they're working on season 7, but they've only released 6 seasons. And the show's been
I vow
around
to
for a long
protect
enough
you,
period
Lapis.
of time that
Prince Allchrist? What are you talking about?
You kept me safe during battle
6
the
makes
other
sense
day.
because there's like fairly decent waiting times between seasons.
I'm old enough to remember when TV shows just released one season every year.
Of
Isn't
course
that why
I
they
did.
called them the season
I'm your
in
retainer.
the first place?
It's
You
my
know.
duty to keep you safe.
Yes, but I don't deserve it. I'm useless, but your character and skills have real value. That's why, from now on, I vow to protect you in battle, Lapis.
What?
But then, I suppose those words are
So,
hollow
anyway,
coming from someone as
you haven't been on
unreliable as
stream in a
me.
while, so how have things been going?
Pretty crappy.
That makes 3.
What?
This is the 3rd time you vowed to protect me like this, Prince Allchrist.
I mean, I don't have anything
yes.
else to say.
Now that you
It's
mention it, I do recall
Nothing
saying
overly
it.
remarkable,
just
nothing over the
after we
top,
met.
just whatever.
pretty much, yeah.
Alright, well, could be worse, I guess. Sorry to hear that, though.
Yeah. So what game are you playing?
I'm doing Fire Emblem. No, this game is not multiplayer. This is a pure single-player game only.
And then again at the Grand Crossing, if I'm recalling correctly.
That's right.
The only
Hearing you
multiplayer
say
game I
those
really play
words,
is
it made
Dead by
me...
Daylight. Correct. I mean, at some point, like I said, at some point I'm going to do a Fortnite stream, but I'm not really going to be doing it for, like, any purposeful reason. I'm going to do it because it's funny. And also, I actually watched one of the streamers that I watched play Fortnite yesterday. Most players suck. They don't know how to shoot. Like, so I'm pretty sure I could actually be good at Fortnite just by not being a complete turd burglar.
That'd be pretty funny. It's sort of like
Please stop
what
trying
was
to
the
switch our
one that
duties
was
like
super
this.
popular
I'm
before
just a
Among
retainer.
Us took
You're a
off?
prince.
All Guys.
There you go, Fall Guys.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Fall Guys is
I'm
still
just being
around. It's
honest
still a
about how
thing,
I see
obviously.
things.
There are still people who play it. But
No, I know that.
everyone who was playing it kind of moved on.
But I don't
So
think
most of
many
the people who
retainers would be
remain
okay with their
are just
master.
like kids.
I apologize.
It's kind of the
please
same with
don't take it
Fortnite,
hard.
where most of the
I know
people
how
who
you
played
meant
it
it.
seriously have moved on,
Yes,
and what's left is
of
kids.
course.
Isn't it still, like, the biggest game on Twitch most of the time? I haven't looked at the leaderboards for most streamed games on Twitch, but isn't Fortnite still way up there?
It may be. I
Amber,
don't
got a
know,
sec?
because I haven't checked either. But even if it was, it would just mean that it's a lot of kids watching, and then content creators who are catering to kids.
Okay, let me take a look here. What are the most... Okay, right now, at this moment... Okay, the thing with the most viewers is Escape from Tarkov, League of Legends, Valorant, Grand Theft Auto 5, and then Fortnite.
Yeah, that sounds pretty on the nose.
And then Apex, and then Warzone, World of Warcraft is still up here. That's fucking nuts.
We were talking about it the other day when we were doing the MMO discussion thing.
Yeah,
looking at the
but
numbers.
that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, but it also makes sense, because if World of Warcraft currently has 129 million subscribers and a daily average of like 200-some thousand players, I mean, that'd fit. Yeah.
Sure, Prince Alfred. What's up?
People tell me you know a lot, especially when
What's
it
the
comes to
highest
rumors
viewer
and
count
myth.
that you ever saw for a stream?
On my stream,
No, on any stream ever, not on yours.
probably one of the Amazon Prime Thursday Night Football ones that gets up to like 120,000.
I saw one. This was absolutely fucking bonkers. It was the return of Tyler 1 when he got unbanned from League of Legends.
Okay.
And his return stream,
Oh, totally.
when he
All
was
legends are
unbanned
true
from
if you
League of
choose to believe
Legends,
them, and
got
I
over
believe a lot of them.
400,000 viewers.
Wow. How much does he average?
Well, there's something
Now
I always
he
wondered
averages,
that maybe you
I
could help me with.
think around 15,000. He's definitely one of the most popular and successful streamers on the site. That's no doubt.
The rest of this list. Okay. ASMR is actually in the top 10.
Yeah, it always is, because ASMR is like on Twitch.
Have you ever
It's
heard
kind of an
about a kind of
excuse
medicine that makes you
for a lot of
ultra-muscular?
girls who are trying to be more cam girly than
Muscular?
sticking themselves and just chatting.
No,
I'll often throw in
ultra-muscular.
ASMR.
Huh.
Right.
And it's just
No,
gross.
I don't think I've heard of that legend.
And then Final Fantasy XIV, Hi-Fi Rush, which is a new game that just came out, so that actually makes sense. Dota 2, Minecraft, Dead by Daylight's actually here in the top 20.
It pretty much always is. It's been super popular for a while.
Yeah. FIFA, Hearthstone, Overwatch, Teamfight, Virtual Casino, which means people literally like watching like people play slots online, which sounds like the most uninteresting thing in the world.
If you think that's the most uninteresting thing in the world, there are people who watch like chess is pretty high up.
Yeah, but at least there's some nuance to chess. Slots is literally just you pull the you push the button, the slots roll, and then either you win money or you don't, and then you do that again for 3 hours.
Damn. I thought if anybody might know more, it'd be you.
Like, at least
they
chess
also
can go different ways.
Don't they also have people playing blackjack? Because I
Yeah.
felt the casino was everything that was gambling except for poker.
That may be true, yeah.
Well, now that I've heard about it from you, I can't just ignore it. I have to know. I'll uncover the legend of that muscle-boosting medicine no matter what.
Really? You're a peach, Amber.
Aw, no sweat. I live for this
Take a
lore
look here.
legendy
Okay.
stuff.
So, alright. Genshin Impact is still way up here, which is weird to me, but whatever. Lost Ark, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Elden Ring, Modern Warfare 2. Those are all the things that currently have over 10,000 viewers. Probably the former. I would take the former. Let me see here. Rocket League gets like 7,000. I thought it got more for some reason. I've had a lot of people over the years tell me to do Rocket League on stream, and there's just something about it that just doesn't resonate with me.
I'll start poking around right now.
I don't know what it is.
Hey, Muscles! Yeah, you with the big arms! How'd you get so huge?
Now we're getting somewhere. If there's anyone you can trust to get it done, it's Amber.
I have never played a Battlefront game outside of like an hour at a friend's house when I was a teenager. And it was the one on the PS2. But that's... Wait, is Battlefront co-op or just straight up like multiplayer?
There's no co-op campaign, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
However, in the multiplayer aspect, where it's just like a online multiplayer shooter, you could make a
Welcome.
group and queue into games together, kind of a deal.
Yeah. I don't know how interesting that is to me, but there aren't a ton of interesting co-op games out there.
Yeah, exactly. I know that online shooters aren't typically your bag, which is why I've rarely, if ever, suggested them. But if for whatever reason you wanted to check Battlefront out, I've got Battlefront 2 on Origin.
Oh, it's on Origin. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much every Star Wars game is going to end up being on Origin. Very few aren't. They basically have to be ones that are old enough to where EA didn't have exclusivity on the Star Wars license.
Right.
Thank you.
So anyway, you said about Rocket League, that's it. So yeah, Rocket League, what's not compelling about it is that it's soccer. And that's also the exact reason why people have asked you to play it.
Good to see
is
you.
because soccer is still the most popular sport
What'll
on
it
Earth.
be?
However, we here in America understand that soccer is garbage. And people who like it should be ashamed of themselves. For being European, not for being soccer fans. And if you're a fan of soccer and you aren't European, then you're just a very confused person. Anyway, so yeah, soccer sucks, and that's probably why it's not compelling to you in any way. Soccer's just not interesting. It's so fucking slow. Now imagine if instead Rocket League was the concept of it was a gigantic game of driving in cars and all this, but you're playing hockey. Because then it's almost the exact same concept, however, basically monster trucks.
I mean, yeah, that's a little more compelling.
Hey, you know what game really needs to see a comeback in the modern era?
What?
Twisted Metal.
Oh yeah, I remember playing Twisted Metal Black on the PS2. That was a really good game.
That would be a very interesting take on an old classic that they could do nowadays. Just literal death matches, but driving cars. There used to be some fun stuff, man. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, you had a PlayStation 1 growing up, right?
Yes, I had a PS1. These were all the game consoles I had. First, I had a Super Nintendo. I was not old enough to get on the Nintendo Entertainment System bandwagon. So I had a Super Nintendo, then I had a PlayStation 1, then I had an Xbox and a GameCube. I did
Here
get the PS2.
comes Amber.
Then I had an Xbox 360. Some years after that, when that generation had come out, I finally started working and making my own money. So then I bought my own PS3. But this was like, I think it was the same year that the PS4 came out, so I mostly just did that because I was cheap. And barely played the PS3 compared to the 360. Didn't have a Wii. Then I got the first I got was an Xbox One. Then after that was a PS4. But I got them really close together. And then and that's it. I haven't gotten any new generation thing yet. I don't have a Switch. As far as handhelds go, I didn't have a Game Boy Advance, but I loved the DS, and I got the 3DS, and I was sad as hell when they came out with the Switch, because the Switch was basically like, it was almost like Nintendo in addition to trying to recapture what they did with the Wii, which worked because, it sold really well. They were also trying to like kind of downsize their company a little bit, because they combined their console market and their handheld market at the same time.
Yeah.
As soon as they came out with the Switch, they
Whatever
completely
you
stopped all development of the 3DS, which sucked ass, because now if I want to continue to play anything that I enjoyed on the fucking 3DS, the same franchises and shit, now I have to get a Switch.
I'll protect you.
They're like, they were doing new Metroid games on the 3DS because they're like trying to return to, the old school style, but then, oh, look, can't do that no more, so Metroid games come out on Switch. Every Pokemon game that's come out since been on the fucking Switch.
Please grant me your strength.
I knew Akitu had a Dreamcast growing up. I never played it, though.
That's
Like,
what
I've literally never played a Dreamcast game on the Dreamcast in my life.
I haven't either. If I remember right, what the Dreamcast had going for it is that it had a lot of innovations that would eventually become company standards. However, it was kind of rough around the edges when it initially came out, so that you understood why people didn't like it at first. So then those other companies came along after Sega went out of business and focused on just being a game developer, and they started making consoles. Then they took those designs that Sega came up with, and then they refined it and made it a lot better. For instance, I think their disc reader system was at the time revolutionary, and then every other console adopted it. Plus, the way that their controller was set up, if I remember correctly, was basically an inspiration to the folks at Microsoft, so they copied a lot of that design for the Xbox controller, which the first Xbox controller came out was awful, very poorly received.
This is the mission of the stewards.
But then they made a smaller version that a lot more people liked, and they said this was much better. And then when they came out with the 360, the Xbox 360 controller is considered one of, if not the best, arguably the best, because a lot of people do argue over it. However, it's up there as the greatest controller of all time.
Yeah.
Emblem, engage!
Yeah, I remember that controller.
And its origins were in the Dreamcast controller.
I think the Dreamcast had online before other consoles did. It was like before Xbox Live there was the Dreamcast online, but it sucked.
Yes. Yes, it did suck, but what was important about it was that, like you said, it was one of the first times that a game console was connecting to the internet. Because you had Phantasy Star Online came out on the Dreamcast. Okay, yeah, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about like instantly when I say that the Dreamcast controller was an inspiration to Xbox controllers. Here is a later generation Dreamcast controller, which should look immediately and instantly familiar to you.
I'm here.
And then here was the launch Dreamcast controller, and then I'll show you the launch Xbox controller as a comparison.
I don't remember how I ended up getting an original Xbox, but I know I had one because I played KOTOR on it. And back then, of course, KOTOR could only be played on Xbox. So I definitely had an Xbox at some point.
Your orders, please.
Damn, I thought it was on other consoles too. Well, then I just got lucky. Because, like, let me tell you, I was the only kid in my friend group that didn't have a PS2.
Yeah.
But because all my friends did, that meant that I had the chance to go over their houses and shit and play GTA, Vice City, and
Here
San Andreas
goes.
and all that shit. So, like, I felt like I didn't miss out too much. But I was also the only one in my friends group that had an Xbox. So I got the chance to play fucking Halo. I got the chance to play the Oddworld games, where I was fucking huge fan of those. I spent tons of hours in the Munch's Odyssey. My dad did that. He loved it.
to come.
Like you said, Knights of the Republic, I didn't know that was an Xbox exclusive. That was fucking news to me. So, like, I seriously lucked out there.
Yeah, let me check here real quick. Knights of the Old Republic. Let's see here. Okay, it was, originally on Xbox. It is now on Windows and Mac, iOS, Android, and Switch? Wait, Knights of the Old Republic is on the Switch. Hold on. There's no way. I don't believe it. Oh, a Nintendo Switch version of Knights of the Old Republic was released on November 11th, 2021.
Alright, so yeah, here we go. Here was the launch Dreamcast controller, and here was the launch Xbox controller. So you can see the inspirations there pretty strongly, but what's most important in terms of the design is that the Dreamcast controller was the first controller that took the thumbstick and had it on the left-hand side of the controller so that your left thumb would be controlling the thumbstick. That was the first controller that was like that, because the first thumbsticks that came out, I believe, were with the original PlayStation 1, the DualShock controllers.
All right, well, are you watching my stream right now?
No.
Okay, well, I am currently using the Switch Pro controller, which I think takes great influence from the Xbox controller and Dreamcast controller. And I can hold it up to the screen if you want to take a look at it.
I'm heading over to your stream right now. I'll tell you once the ads are done playing.
Sure. Yeah, let me see here.
So yeah, I'm taking a look real quick. Is the 20 best exclusives on the original Xboxes? I'm like, there's a ton of other stuff that I played, but it's been so fucking long. You know, I'm trying to remember the library that I had for the original Xboxes. We're talking like, dude, that was back when I was.
Yeah, did you ever play the Obi-Wan Kenobi game on Xbox?
Yes, that's an example of one of them. That I love that one. That was one of the best Star Wars games I've ever played. They had a very interesting game mode, which was like a battle royale, which you could do after you beat the game.
Oh, really?
Where you'd be fighting in the Jedi Temple with all the other Jedi. It was really cool. Okay, Fusion Frenzy, that was really fun. That was like an Xbox exclusive kind of like version of Mario Party, where it's just, you know, party games and shit. Fusion Frenzy was fun. Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, I didn't play that one, and I didn't have that one, but I remember that was an extremely controversial game when it came out.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Conquer Live and Reloaded, when they did the remix of the N64, Conquer's Bad Fur Day. Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. There you go. That was a fucking amazing game. That was probably one of the best games based off of a movie ever.
I remember people talking about that game when it came out.
Okay, I'm on your stream now.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Basic webcam.
Yeah. Also, that thing looks filthy.
I mean, it probably is.
Right. I mean, no shade, but yeah,
Yeah.
it just. To be fair, it's black, and black
Yeah.
shows dirt super easy. It's just how it is.
Right. But that looks kind of like an old Dreamcast controller.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a couple of racing games. I'm looking at this one. This is Project Gotham Racing 2. I'm sitting
I
there
think
like,
that was a launch one. I remember
yeah,
that.
I think Forza was Xbox exclusive. Jet Set Radio Future. I didn't play that one, but I remember it was super popular. Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. That was one of the Oddworld games I was talking about. I fucking love that one. Ninja Gaiden. I forgot that was originally an Xbox exclusive. It would come out on the PS3 later.
Yeah.
But
I
was
actually
at
have
first
it on
an Xbox
PS3.
exclusive, yeah. The only console port for Morrowind was to the Xbox.
I remember that. Didn't they also
Jade
get
Empire.
Neverwinter Nights or something? I think that was the Xbox exclusive.
Neverwinter Nights might have come out on console, but I feel like it did. But Jade Empire came out on Xbox. Of course, the Splinter Cell games. Can't forget those.
Those were the games that my dad liked. Those are the only games my dad got into. And because of that, I've always associated Splinter Cell with, like, Grill Dads.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a Tom Clancy game, so I guess that's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah. That definitely makes sense. The original Shenmue came out on Dreamcast, so
Right.
Shenmue 2 ended up on the Xbox. It was, if I remember right, it was one of the most popular Japanese-developed games that didn't end up on the fucking PS or PlayStation in general, let alone PS2. Fable, that was a big one.
Fable. It did not live up to the hype, though. I remember, like, for 4 years, Fable was the most exciting thing in the world, and then it was just okay.
And again, Knights of the Old Republic, to me, genuine shock that was an Xbox exclusive. I completely forgot about that. So, yeah, again, only kid in my friends group that had an Xbox. So like, everyone's, oh yeah, man, I fucking love playing Metal Gear Solid 3. We're sitting there like, you guys have any idea how good Halo is? You guys have any idea how good Knights of the Old Republic is? Holy shit.
E. Walker, what do you mean for some reason? You know the reason.
Fate has brought us.
I remember my uncle's modded Xbox he gave me for some reason. It was loaded with Super Sexual games. Super He allowed to stream beach volleyball, Playboy.
Like, you know the reason.
Was there a Playboy game? Yeah, I'm gonna sit here and be like, you know. Yeah, it was the weirdest damn thing. I went over to my uncle's house and he had half a watermelon with a hole cut into it in the microwave, and he said he didn't want me to eat it. It was the damnedest thing.
Yeah, the game I remember, and this was actually multi-platform. It was on all 3 systems. BMX XXX. Which
Yeah.
I actually have that game, and I don't know why, but I have it.
The only like off-roading kind of thing like that you're talking about video game that I ever played was one time I went to the dentist, and this was a dentist that I didn't go to for long. For whatever reason, my family only went there like 3 times. But they had a PS2 in their lobby. So I played this one. For all I know, it was that game that you just said, because I didn't know.
It was definitely not BMX XXX. That game was
Okay.
one of the most controversial games when it came out.
Okay, well, anyway, yeah, riding bikes, BMX bikes, dirt bikes, and ATVs. And all I did over and over again, because I thought the physics system was amazing in that game, all I did over and over again was just intentionally wipe out. That was all I did. And my dad was all like, "Don't you want to try to win the race, son?" And I'm all like, "I am winning, Dad. I'm making all of this man's bones break."
I'm gonna take a guess and
turning
say
him
it was a
into villain.
Dave Mirra game. I'm gonna take a guess.
I have no fucking earthly idea. We're talking about something that occurred 20 or more years ago. And because I didn't have a PlayStation 2, why on earth would I have ever bothered learning the name of the game?
Right.
Hope is on our side.
So, I'm,
Man.
no, I'm sitting here talking about the PS2 and the Xbox.
Been lost.
Yet I knew that at a GameCube too, and the GameCube was the first one that I
must
got.
not end here.
You know,
hate
this
to
made me
leave
think
you,
of you.
but I
Apparently,
must
there's a
withdraw.
Pikmin 4 coming out this year, and I saw that, and it
Nice.
made me think of you because you were talking about Pikmin a few months ago, how much you
Yeah.
played it when you were young.
Right. When I had a GameCube, the 3 games I played on it the absolute most. Sonic Adventure 2. The Pikmin series, Pikmin 1 and 2, but 1 more than 2 because like my sister really liked 2, but I really liked 1. Even though I didn't like the time limit because I hate the idea of time limits in games, 1's play was just better to me. And Resident Evil 4.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil 4. That was such an amazing thing when the GameCube got remake and Resident Evil 7 exclusive. Like that was so weird, I remember that. And I mean, think about all the credibility the console got because of that.
Yeah. And it was actually really funny how things ended up going because Remake did so decently well
I live
and
to
so did
fight
Resident
again.
Evil 0. So they thought also, they're like, hey,
I got
when we do a remake of Resident Evil 2, we'll do it on the GameCube also.
big help.
But they were at the time also developing Resident Evil 4, so when they finally released Resident Evil 4, it became one of the most top smash hit games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So they ended up shelving the Resident Evil 2 remake because they were just doing so well with new Resident Evil games that they didn't fucking get around to it until a couple of years ago with the Resident Evil 2 remake that we got.
12 Man for Life. The original Max Payne is actually one of my favorite games because of how much I played it when I was younger. I probably beaten the original Max Payne like 40 or 50 times because that was the only game I've ever played that I like got into speed running on.
And I told you that I didn't play the original Max Payne like legitimately until only a couple of years ago because I was traumatized as a kid by the fucking introductory scene where he's hearing his wife and kid being murdered.
Yeah.
It's funny because I love noir, and Max Payne is basically noir the video game.
Yeah, it's almost like a parody of noir sometimes, it feels like.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh man, that's astonishing, that level of fucking swing and a miss that I did on that. And I'm like, man, if I could go back and kick my younger self, I would have. See, what's funny is I was just playing a very early version of Max Payne because later versions that they would release
Oh, really?
later versions removed that level from the game completely. Not because it was traumatic to other people, but because it was so fucking long that it turned a lot of people off, and they felt like we just did ourselves a disservice with that. It shouldn't have been a playable level. It should have been cutscene.
That's weird because the version of Max Payne I played growing up, I specifically remember having to go through your house with your dead wife and kid and shoot a few, I think, junkies. So maybe the version I played was, Yeah, I remember being... I never saw the Max Payne movie, but apparently it's fucking awful, so... I don't think I will.
The Max Payne movie, I think, had Mark Wahlberg in it, right?
Yes, it did. And Mila Kunis played, what's her name, Monica?
Allow your soul the
What's
rest
the name
it
of the
deserves.
woman in Max Payne 1? Was it Monica? God.
Melvin? No,
So when Pikmin 4 comes out, I should get it and stream it so you can play vicariously through me.
there's so many games on the Switch that I gotta fucking get and play. Oh my god.
At this
Don't want to
point,
spend money on that fucking
we are probably a couple years away from Nintendo making a new console and the Switch becoming obsolete. So just wait a little bit, and you're probably okay. Because the Switch will drop in
I
price
would
dramatically when it
everyone.
becomes obsolete hardware.
Oh no, that's it.
Mona, okay. I was close. Yeah, Max Payne was a game that weirdly resonated with me probably more than it should, because I played through it so many times speedrunning it.
I feel like I should play Max Payne 3 again because you mostly kill Brazilians in that game. I fucking hate Brazilians.
How many is a Brazilian?
I don't know how many it would be specifically, but I can say that I just don't have enough ovens. To bake that many cookies, of course, that's what I meant.
Raise your sword!
Oh, they're remaking the original Max Payne Walker. Oh, I gotta be all over that then.
Mamma mia. You want how many cookies? You want me to bake 6 million cookies? And how much time with my limited number of ovens? But that's impossible. Sorry, that's for Holocaust now.
Mamma mia.
It's a spicy meatball.
But it was like a couple weeks ago when we were doing Attack of the Clones on Lego Star Wars, and one of the side quests kept talking about
You
Dexter
put up a good
Jetster's oven, and I was like, whoa, where's this going?
Oh man, that fucking shit is like, for those of you who don't know, George Lucas is incredibly obsessed with 1950s culture. That's actually the reason why Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was made. Steven Spielberg said in interviews many times he didn't want to fucking do it because he felt that Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade was the last Indiana Jones movie. They literally ended that movie with him riding off into the sunset. Literally. So he says in interviews, he's like, I didn't want to come back and do this again. I didn't want to do it. But George insisted, and then blah, blah, blah. George had a bunch of money that he made from the prequels. It didn't matter what people thought of the prequels. He made lots of money with them. So because of that, he went back and, he redid Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And the point of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was specifically to do Indiana Jones in the 50s because of how much George Lucas loves 1950s culture. So that's why he had the fight in the diner with the greasers and rock and roll music, and then they drove outside and they're driving around and you've got Red Scare protests going on, and all that kind of shit that's going on. And you listen to George and his nonsensical ideas as he's talking about what he wanted the movie to be, and he was kind of thinking like he wanted to mix it with 1950s shitty sci-fi movies. He legitimately, he's talking about he wanted to do Indiana Jones and the Attack of the Giant Ants.
It's pretty good.
So here you have the Star Wars prequels. No one is gonna tell George no on anything.
Yeah.
They're making Attack of the Clones, and in spite of the fact that it's Star Wars, in spite of the fact that it's a highly advanced technological society, in spite of the fact that you've got fucking Jedi and the Force and all this crazy shit, he still goes to a fucking 1950s diner.
That's a great point. I never really thought about that, but
messed
yeah,
up.
you're right. All right, guys.
It's like
A fallen hero.
No.
well,
That
I
would
was just
make a
gonna say
good
as the
legend,
last thing was
but
that
it's not
the
one I want.
George
I
Lucas's
better
one of
retreat.
the favorite movies he had that he ever made was American Graffiti,
Right.
which was a love letter to the 1950s, and it's almost like he never left that. You know, it was like he
Yeah.
wishes that that was the one that was Star Wars popular instead of Star Wars.
All right, guys. I will be right back. Guys, we are back. I want an RDR remaster purely for the purpose of having a PC port. The source code for Red Dead Redemption 1 is lost? How do you lose the source code to a AAA game? Like, can't you just buy a copy of it and reverse engineer the source code? What the fuck? How is that even possible?
Yeah, that's actually a good point. That's why I think it's probably just but
Lost.
there'd probably be a hefty amount of demand for an RDR remaster, because number one, it would feel like an actual sequel, because way more people have played Red Dead Redemption 2 than Red Dead Redemption 1. So number one, it would feel like an actual sequel. And number two, Undead Nightmare was super, super popular. And a lot of people were extremely disappointed that Red Dead Redemption 2 did not have an Undead Nightmare.
Right.
So, if they just did a remaster which had Undead Nightmare as part of it, that would probably do great just off of that. But of course, I don't know for sure. I'm just some guy.
RDR 1's spaghetti code is a mess. Oh, really? It's one of those, huh? So it's like Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight has the same problem, spaghetti code.
Yeah, it's not that the source code has been lost so much as the source code never existed. Held together by chewing gum and duct tape.
There is nothing to fear.
I just don't know why GTA 4 necessarily needs a remaster when they can just make a new game, which apparently they're gonna do. I don't know. And I love Grand Theft Auto 4. I think it's a fantastic game, but like,
I won't flinch.
I'd rather let them invest their time on, you know, a new game.
My favorite moments in any Grand Theft Auto game that I ever played. I was just fucking around in Grand Theft Auto 4. So, running around the city as Nico, and I shoot an old lady in the face. For no reason, just shoot her in the face. And Nico screams at the top of his lungs, "I don't give a shit!"
Winning!
It was fucking hilarious.
Oh, that's fucked.
I don't give a shit.
Hey, my cousin Nico, you want to go play the dots?
One thing I really liked in GTA 5 was you visit your little psychiatrist guy. Because when he'd ask you about how things were going, how your behavior was and all this,
If I die here,
it would reflect on how you were playing.
Yeah, I remember that.
So for me, it was a weird experience because the therapy session was always talk about how great it was and what a good boy he was being in terms of being faithful to his wife. And then he talked about what a black-hearted rage monster he was, and he was just a psychopath who just kill a bunch of people. I was like, what the hell is the point of this? It's just so weird. Then I read that and I found out, so I'm like, oh, never use prostitutes in the game because I didn't see the point to it. And the faithfulness to his wife was just specifically referring to using prostitutes. And when Michael would talk about being a crazy rage monster, it was about killing people outside of missions. So in that case, you're shooting innocent people.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. So I don't use prostitutes, but I just shoot tons of fucking people because I'll just be like, you know what, I'm bored. I'm just gonna go on a rampage real quick.
Does doctor-patient confidentiality mean that if your patient confesses to murdering people, you
Our
can't turn
foes
them
are
in?
strong.
No, that's the one exception. If your patient gives you information about them committing a crime. You are duty bound
There is nothing to fear.
to inform the police. Now, lawyer-client confidentiality starts to get into much murkier waters because almost everything that your defense attorney will discuss with you is more than likely referring to you committing some kind of a crime. So, in that sense,
This is it! If this love is a crime,
it's a little tougher to sit there and say, well, based off of ethics, you need to blah-de-blah-de-blah. Plus, you know, a lot of lawyers are not the most noble of people in the first place. So even if they were duty-bound to do certain things, it doesn't mean they actually would.
Okay, I'm looking at it. It looks like KOTOR did get a PC port within a few months of its Xbox release, but to this day it's never been released on any other console than the Switch.
Crazy.
I wonder if that Switch port actually works. I wonder if it like runs like.
See, what's crazy is I'm playing Knights of the Old Republic 2 right now, and Knights of the Old Republic 2 has access to the Steam Workshop, and I'm using lots of mods from the Workshop. Knights of the Old Republic 1 does not have access to the Workshop. But you gotta go to some place like Nexus Mods to get fucking... Just to try to fix the game for shit like having a 1980 by 1020 resolution, or 1920 by 1080, sorry. But for me, that's just dumb as hell. What do I know? I'm just some guy.
I was actually thinking about it the other day because we've been talking about it a lot lately, how much of a bummer it is that KOTOR didn't become like this massive ongoing franchise that would still be making games today. Because it really should have, when you think like when you think about how good that game was.
I can't hear you because I'm doing something that is way too loud in the game right now. Sorry.
Okay.
Loop racing. It's just too fucking loud. My god. Literally cannot hear anything else other than this. Sound, master volume. Way the fuck down. Okay, say what you were saying again.
Yeah, all I said was I was thinking the other day because we were talking about KOTOR, how much of a bummer it is that that didn't become like a long-running franchise. Because by all rights, it absolutely should have.
It definitely should have at the very least been a trilogy if Mass Effect ended up being a fucking trilogy. Fudge.
Like you were describing why KOTOR 3 never happened, like with the, you know, falling out between the developers and the, you know, studio and stuff, and it's just like, you know, why, you know, none of that stuff needed to happen.
my apologies.
What else didn't need to happen?
What?
You can guess.
He's nuts. I mean, generally speaking, it's very weird too when you think about
So
it,
your
because
tale
if a
ends.
video game franchise or potential franchise is pretty much guaranteed to make a lot of money, it's gonna happen. That's like one of the
I'll do
rare
my
instances
best.
where a game would have made a ton of money if they just made it and then it just didn't happen for bizarre reasons.
Won't you join me?
Like, I guess you could say Half-Life 3 is an example of that, but Half-Life 3 won't get made because it'll be a disappointment to her. That's a little different.
This is my fight.
And in fact, it would be such a disappointment that in order to dodge it but still be able to create Half-Life related content, Alvin, Gaben, and everybody decided to just go in a different direction with like the Half-Life Alex stuff. They're like, look, we need to try to do something different and head in a different direction and then get to where we were trying to go. It's the only way that you could avoid the outrageous fucking leviathan of expectations that exist for it now.
Yeah.
It was a game that was so overhyped that its actual development ceased. It went in a different direction because of what you're talking about.
Yeah. Why couldn't they have just released it in 2008 like they were supposed to? I do wonder, is it possible that once video games get to the point where there's a big innovation they can make and put in a game like Half-Life 3, would they do it then? Are they just waiting for the technology to get to the point where it's possible to even try to live up to the hype?
A lot of people believe so because it's kind of what Half-Life Alex was. Is if you remember Half-Life 2, kind of made the physics systems in games relevant.
Yeah, exactly.
With a gravity gun, it created an entirely new generation of capabilities in games that hadn't existed before.
Yeah, I
A
remember.
lot of people feel that's
that
what they were
shit.
doing with Half-Life Alex by 'cause it's a VR game.
Right. Do you think the KOTOR remake will ever come out? No. I think it's dead.
I sure fucking hope it comes out, but it was only announced that they were even working on it like a year ago.
And I think they've already kind of announced its DOA. So at this point, I'm not expecting it. So, anyway, just to kind of talk about what's going on with the streams the next couple of days for anybody who might be interested. So I come to find out early this morning, Dead Space is not being released Thursday at 9 p.m. like I expected. Usually the game gets a release date and it's dropping at midnight on the East Coast, which means it drops at 9 p.m. my time. This is what happened with Soul Hackers 2. I bought Soul Hackers 2, pre-ordered it, and I was able to start playing it immediately at 9 p.m. Thursday night. But for some reason, Dead Space doesn't unlock until Friday at 8 a.m. So I'm not going to be able to play it until Friday evening because, of course, I'm not going to start playing it at 8 a.m. when everyone's at work. So basically what's going to happen is tomorrow, schedule permitting, I'm going to stream Lego Star Wars with Snacks if he's available for it. And then on Friday, we basically do Dead Space all night.
Making the rounds. Hmm? Yes.
Which, in a way, is, Snacks, you are off tomorrow, correct? Alright, so yeah. Well, we might do 2 episodes of Lego Star Wars. We might do Force Awakens and Last Jedi. I don't know. it's possible. Because I wanted to get in as much of that as possible because we haven't played that in a while. But Friday, I just can't not do Dead Space. It's literally what everybody's going to be talking about. It's what everybody's going to be streaming.
What'll it be?
Fair enough.
How hard do you want to go?
A thing I gotta do on Friday anyway. Till later off stream.
You've got this. Looking good. Perfect. Looking good. You've got this. Looking good. You've got this. Looking good. Perfect. Looking good. Perfect. Looking good. You've got this.
It is weird, but it honestly makes a lot of sense, Big Country.
Perfect.
It actually does.
Great job. I'm so proud.
Sean Payton not coming back to coaching this year. Let's see here. Okay, so one thing I wanted to check. List of best-selling games on the original Xbox. Halo 2 has the competition crushed. 8.5 million. Second place is the first Halo with 5. But here's the thing. Third place is a game I have never heard of in my life until this very moment. Sneak King. Sneak King. Oh, it's the Burger King game. It came with the Burger King meal.
I remember that one.
Oh. Wow.
That's a fucking meme right there.
It's a 54 out of 100 on Metacritic.
Hilarious.
Oh my god, Sneak King is the third best-selling Xbox game ever. Wow.
I think it's because like they either offered it for like some outrageously low price, or they just straight up gave it away.
Yeah, they did. They gave it away with the purchase of a value meal at Burger King.
Yeah, there you go.
When I
So
was...
that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a good sales. Total bullshit.
Let's do this again sometime.
When I was really little, I got a game out of a cereal box called, I think it was called Captain Crunch's Adventures. And
I remember that one.
It was like you had to train these creatures in various mini games. Yeah,
And they'd grow older like Tamagotchi too. They started
Wonderful.
off as this little fucking puffball baby thing, and then they became like a teenager or whatever, and they
Yeah.
started skateboarding and shit. I remember that.
I don't remember what the point of the game was, but I remember I played it a lot.
The game was to have fun.
There was also another game I got in a box of Chex called Chex Quest, which was basically... It was basically Doom, but you were playing as a piece of Chex cereal, and you were shooting slime monsters.
There it is. Had me at playing as Chex cereal.
Okay, let me see if I can find this game.
Okay. Stick.
Oh my god, I'm watching this video. I remember these levels. God. The game was actually pretty decent, like, unironically. I don't know if they actually designed the levels or if they just literally ripped off the levels from Doom or not, but neither would surprise me.
Give you 3 guesses.
Up
You're
here
a
to
sight
explore?
for sore
Going for a
eyes.
jog? Decided to stop by.
He loves only gold.
Might as well make this part of my
All
training
that
routine.
glitters is
Uh,
gold.
Ah!
You
Whew, I think it's going well.
Break the mold.
It'll taste like something. Probably unhappiness.
Okay, that's bad.
What? The game told me he was good at making potato soup.
I beg of you not to eat this.
Oh my god. Well, I'm gonna kick your ass, Alfred. The game told me you knew how to make potato soup. You're a piece of shit. I hate you.
Name character you hate?
Alfred.
Fred, you're a little piece of poop.
I can't go on like this. I need a PS3. I like how Zelda just straight up tells him to get a job.
Didn't he not get paid because no one fucking
Right.
went and actually bought any burgers? I'm sitting there like, okay, now I could understand getting laid off in that situation, but dude, he was there and he was ready to fucking work. You see, he's not gonna pay him. It's not his fault nobody wanted your crap.
You know, I just remembered something else. When I was playing through Kotar for the first time, right before I got to near the end of the games, had it spoiled for me about the twist, like the big twist, and I was really mad. So I was telling a friend, and I was pissed off, and he was like telling me, "Oh, don't worry, the spoiler you read is fake. It's fake. That's not actually in the game." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I got to that part of the game, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, it was. You were just trying to, you know." But, yeah, that was one of the big plot twists of my childhood. That was a big one. I think that and the Harry Potter spoiler are the two big, like, plot twists of my childhood.
The Divine Dragon looked right at me.
Yeah, I remember not having that one spoiled for me, so when I read it, I thought, I was like, there's no way, because it didn't make any sense. Why would this happen? So, like, I reread the...
Yes.
From that point on to the end of the book, I reread that whole section, like, probably 10
All
times,
right.
where I was like, that can't be it, right? And I hit the internet, and I was all like, did that really just happen? It was, oh my god,
Go
I
ahead.
can't believe it. And I'm like, dude, why? That's dumb.
Well, I had it spoiled for me because of YTMND.
You called?
You could not be on that site at that time and not get it spoiled. It was literally impossible.
Emblem engage!
Unless you're doing like I was doing, and you only watched NEDM-related YTMNDs.
I still remember the YTMND of those guys, like, going by a bookstore the night of the book's release, and there were a bunch of nerds in line, and he just goes, "Hey, Snape kills Dumbledore."
No, bitch, you bitch.
Yeah. An absolute classic. I had a
This
friend who
isn't so
actually went to
bad.
Barnes & Noble and did that. He went to the Harry Potter section, pulled out the book, opened it to the page, and then read out loud with everyone there. Snape kills Dumbledore. And everyone was like, dude, why did you do that? He was kind of an asshole.
Yes.
He a smooth brain, low IQ take is to read Snape killing Dumbledore chapter in public. The big brain, humongous IQ take is to read Sunset found her squatting in the grass. Every stool was looser than the one before.
I won't lose.
Can you imagine just minding your own business and lying at a fucking bookstore and then some guy just starts fucking popping off reading that shit? Like, you take your weird porno somewhere.
I'm lost. I want to.
What?
Still remember reading the fake spoilers for Rise of Skywalker before I went to see it. And, at the time, I of course didn't know they were fake because at the time the internet was just full of people fake spoilering the movie. One of the fake spoilers I read was Kylo Ren is going to be Rey's grandfather via time travel.
Which is funny because Kylo Ren was going to bang Rey, and they would have a baby together. So, is he his own grandfather, or is Rey her own grandmother?
Like, as stupid as what they did was,
Dream well.
that's probably a little stupider. That would be like I'm walking out of the theater at that point.
Remember, it could always get stupider. It could always get fucking stupider.
No, I'm not doing that. I've had this chair for a couple years now.
I can still fight.
All right.
Because I read a lot of reviews and they said this was the best one.
What's the best one?
My brand of chair. It's a Secret Labs. Let's see here.
Lend me your strength.
Dude, fuck that shit.
I must end it.
the name of the Mandalorian character in KOTOR? Adius?
I cannot afford to lose.
Okay, yeah, it's been a while.
Canderous of the Mandalorian clan Ordo. And it was a dead fucking giveaway that Mandalore in the second game was Canderous. Because aside from the fact that it was the same voice actor and you can hear that, he also tells you almost immediately upon meeting him that he traveled with Revan during the Jedi Civil War, and the only things that Revan did during the Jedi Civil War were the events of Knights of the Republic. So you're like, a Mandalorian who traveled with Revan. I wonder who that could possibly be. And then the fucking cherry on top was the fact that the only Mandalorian clan that was present was Ordo. So you're like, obviously fucking
I mean, I wonder if that was supposed to be a plot twist, though.
For me, the real plot twist, I think, is that Goto, the leader of the exchange, was actually the droid Goto, G0, T0 the whole time. There was no Goto the man. He was just a hologram that was invented by the robot because the robot knew that no one would follow an organized crime leader if they thought that he was a droid. So he just pretended to be human so that people would actually listen to him. But he only ever communicated through computer networks and with his droid.
Emblem.
Also, since I'm playing Knights of the Republic 2 again, I'm reading some lore and theories and such. There's people talking about some stuff that may have involved Kreia that I was just like, oh man, this is some weird fucking people to play this game. Like, they think that Kreia may have been involved in a struggle snuggle. And I was like, that...
What?
What?
What is... I don't even know what that is.
Oh, then mute my mic.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, you're unmuted now, by the way, but, okay. Well, that's, interesting.
Because what happens in the cutscene where she's cast down from power, where her two apprentices defeat her, the only thing you see is that her two apprentices defeat her in a lightsaber battle. After that, she then has the Force taken away from her the same way that the Exile had the Force taken away from them. That's kind of what created their Force bond, is that they suffered the same fate. And they were the only two beings in the galaxy who had their connection to the Force severed, thrown away. It kind of linked them together. And that's what Kreia was referring to when she says that she suffered indignities. The way that she says it, where like the camera zooms in on her as she's like laying on the ground exhausted because she just lost a lightsaber battle. So she's laying on the ground exhausted, and then the voiceover says, "I suffered indignities." So then everyone's like, "Oh, well, obviously that means that she was Ard," and it's like, really?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's one of those things where, like, they do things visually to make you think of that, but they're not actually, like, doing that. I think the trope is, does this remind you of anything?
The answer, of course, being yes. Reminds me of failure.
I'm here.
I'm still alive? Huh.
no. I messed up. A fallen hero. That would make a good legend, but it's not the one I want.
Was the underwater planet or the planet where where basically the whole thing takes place under this, like, underwater, was that in KOTOR 1 or 2?
1. You're thinking of the watery planet Manan. And the first half of that planet takes place above ground, above the water, above sea level, on dry land. And then the second half takes place underwater.
Okay.
Don't worry, those are commonly remembered as one of the worst parts of the game because you have to wear the little Enviro suit, which was fucking slow. Extremely slow. In fact, most mods just like skip that part or allow you to walk faster.
Oh, really?
Like some of the most popular mods out there.
Quick change!
He's just used literally every card he had. Nice man.
Are you a homosexual?
Yes.
May I see it?
That was a fierce battle.
I don't know if you remember or not, Snacks. Was Dead Space 2 a direct sequel to Dead Space 1?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I couldn't
If I
remember
can,
for sure.
I shall.
Yeah, takes place like a few months after Dead Space 1, where events of what happened on the ship are still semi-secret, but a decent
Isn't
amount of
this
people
your
are
hope
hearing
is on our
about it.
side?
Isaac Clarke has been remanded to like a mental health facility, along with a bunch of other people who had been exposed to the marker. And then it turns out the guy who's like the director of the medical health facility is the next big bad guy who's trying to fucking use the marker to gain power and all this crazy shit, and just, you know, aliens again. And Isaac's just trying to fucking get out of there alive. This is one of my favorite side quests in Knights of the Old Republic too. Is on Telos. This one Twi'lek idiot, he literally bets his girlfriend on a game of Pazak, and he loses. So he begs you to go get his girlfriend back, but like he literally sold his girlfriend into slavery.
Must have had a really good hand.
Seriously. So you go and talk to the guy, and the guy's like, he's not a scumbag. It's just that, like, slavery is a common fucking economic practice in the galaxy, especially in this part of the galaxy. So, like, he's not a scumbag. He's just like a businessman. So he's like, okay, well, I price her value at 2,000 credits. So if you have 2,000 credits, we can do business. I'll sell it to you. So you can either persuade for him to lower the price. You can threaten to kill him, in which case they'll be like, she's already been fitted with a slave collar, so if I die, that slave collar will just detonate. She's dead, so that wouldn't get you very far. Which is hilarious. And the last option is to wager on a game of Pazak again, which is the only way to do it if you don't have the money. Because then you'd have to win the game in order to Now, even though I have the money, I do that one anyway because I don't want to spend the money.
Right.
So I win her. So he's like, okay, so I've transferred ownership over to her now, over to you now. So one of the things you can do, since she's now your property, is you can then bring her back to her boyfriend who sold her into slavery. She doesn't want to go back with him. That's the resolution of the quest, is that she doesn't want to be with him. So you can either force her to be with him, which is bad, or you can let her go free, in which case she just decides that she wants to leave because fuck that guy. She's all like, are you kidding me? This dipshit sold me into slavery over a fucking game of cards. Like, what the hell? I'm not property, goddammit. This is so fucked up, I hope this guy rots in hell. What you can do, since she's your property, is be like, no, I just brought her back here because I wanted to bang her in front of you.
Is that in
It's
the
just like-
mod, or is that...
I'll never
I hope that's in the mod. I'm going to be very disappointed if I play that mod one day.
It's funny.
Was that too much?
I think the thing I remember best about Kotar is the guy who, like, you run into in a bar and he doesn't want you to talk to him and he starts counting down from 3 every time you say something, and then if he gets to 3, you're basically just dead.
Halo Nord.
I wonder if it's possible to kill him.
You're literally supposed to, because he becomes a philosopher. It's not possible to kill him there, because if you try to do the countdown thing, then what happens is it's literally just a cutscene where you die. You don't have a choice to fight back.
Oh, okay.
You just die. Then later on you fight him, and you don't kill him. It's like a fake out death, where he's like, well, if I'm going down, I'm going to take all you with me. I've got here a grenade that'll blow up this entire hangar. And then the Sith begin bombarding the planet. So he's like, oh shit. And then he was supposedly taken out by a laser blast. He was. He then gets hired by Darth Malak to take care of you. So then what happens is, end up fighting him as a boss on the first planet with a star map that you go to, and you kill him.
Mm-hmm. You an angel? Ah, I'm just kidding. Man, I hope some kid doesn't end up using that as a pickup line.
It's pretty funny. Atten is outrageously thirsty. What's funny is the exile being female is Kanan. So Atten is Kanan thirsty.
If this love is a crime,
Who would you say is your favorite character in Kotar?
In the first game, probably Zalbar. The second game, it's definitely Cray.
Don't look at me right now.
She's dummy thick.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
I remember Darth Malak actually became one of my favorite Sith Lords in the Star Wars continuity. I remember reading about his, his deal, and remember really liking him. But I can't remember most of it anymore.
Yeah, I thought the Mandalorians were really cool. I really liked Canderous and Mandalorians. stuff.
I'm sorry, Divine One.
Oh, 1 HP left.
I'll manage.
The hell with that shit.
For peace.
Not a worry. You put up a good fight.
El Barto. El Homo.
Remember that? That was great. Only I had your courage, sir.
Emblem!
Barnacles, Patrick.
Oh, barnacles.
I've been literally just trying to get through fucking dialogues as fast as I can, so I just keep mashing 1, because 1's supposed to be the light side option, but it ended up being the dark side option. I was like, son of a bitch.
Pretty sure I played through Kotar full with light and dark. I tried both. Light side is canon, right?
Yes, for both games. And one of the reasons that Knights of the Republic 2 is considered better is that there was more nuance going on with some of the decisions. You know, in Knights of the Republic 1, every decision is like the light side option is please come over to my house and fuck my wife. The dark side option is, you know what? I know that you just said hello to me as I was walking past you on the street, but I can't help but want to skin you and then sell that skin
Has all
that I
been lost.
took from you as
The fight.
livestock feed or some shit. You know, like
Right.
Damn.
Ham-handed, I think is the
Right.
word you're looking for.
yeah. Where it's like every single option is just nonsense. Meanwhile, in Knights of the Republic 2, you have the option to do light side stuff, which is still like sneaky or devious, but it's like you're doing it against a bad person and it's in a clever way, so it's not like you're super evil. And you also get to do dark sided stuff by like doing some crazy shit. That being said, some of the most awesome shit was in Knights of the Republic 1 when it came to dialogues. One of my favorite things to do is on Dantooine, there was a quest where you were supposed to end this feuding, this Hatfields and McCoys type shit that was going on between these two families. And it was a Romeo and Juliet kind of situation where it turned out that like the patriarch of each family felt that the other patriarch had kidnapped their child.
I remember that one.
Right, because their children ran off together, but
I'll do my best.
they ran off together because they were planning to elope because they were secretly in love and all this shit. So at the end of the quest, no matter what you do, there's this big confrontation between the two patriarchs, and they're getting ready to throw down. So your choice is to you can either start the fight and then there's a big fight, or you could try to resolve the conflict peacefully and put an end to this feud. So one of the awesome things you could do is you could set everything up peacefully like that where all this information comes out, and then everyone's all like, "Ah, geez, I guess we could just let bygones be bygones." And then you have the option to fuck the whole thing up by presenting evidence where one of the head patriarchs had murdered the oldest son of the other patriarch, and you had evidence that he'd done this. So then you could just be like, "Oh, hey, by the way, that dude totally murdered your kid." He was like, "Well, wait a minute, what?" And then you show him the evidence. He's like, "You fucking bastard!" And then he doesn't shoot the other patriarch. What he does is say, "If you murdered my kid, now I'm gonna murder yours." So then he shoots the other dude's daughter, and that was like his only child. So now, like, all of his kids are dead now because he only had the one fucking kid. And he was like, "You animal!" So then he shoots that dude's son.
Yeah, I remember this because...
And then there's a huge breakdown of order from there because, okay, so those two fucking...
So your tail.
I remember this.
Everyone goes ape shit, and then the droids detect that weapons have been discharged, and they start going fucking crazy. It was the most hilarious shit.
Yes, I remember this because I went over to my friend's house for a sleepover when I was a teenager, and he was playing KOTOR at the time, and he was doing that quest while I was watching him, and he couldn't figure out how to get it to resolve amicably, so what you're describing happened. Gonna pump it up like the Goodyear blimp, make you holler for $1, that's the way I pimp.
I'm reading this one Reddit thread. It was discussing situations where the teacher and the substitute didn't show up in class. That was the premise for the thread. It was like the teacher and the substitute don't show up to class today. Do you have any stories like this? So then this one guy, he was like, well, you know, the class, that they had a representative come down to tell us that class couldn't be dismissed because they didn't want us to just go, but that they didn't have anybody there to teach us. So one kid just stood up and he walks to the front of the class, and then he gave a 50-minute lecture on pimpology.
Well, I guess they learned something.
Did you ever watch the South Park episode where Butters becomes a pimp?
I think I did, yes.
Well, I'll do a quick refresher. The beginning of the episode, the boys are talking, and then Butters mentions something along the lines of he's never had a kiss. So then they're all like, well, if you've never been kissed, why don't you go to back behind this building during lunch? On lunch behind that building, this one girl sells kisses for $5. So he goes and he does that, and he's like, oh, wow. So then he goes and he gives her the $5, and she says thanks, and then she pulls out this fat fucking wad of cash. Like, it is huge. And Butters takes notice of that. He's like, wow, that's a hell of a lot of money. He's like, have you really made all that money just from selling kisses? She's like, yes, I have. So then Butters, being the industrious young entrepreneur that he is, you got to remember, they're all like 8 years old.
Yeah.
So to him, he basically invented the concept of pimping. Because he was all like, wait a minute, I've got an idea. We're going to expand your game. You're going to start selling over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up appointments for you. Because then this way, I manage all your money so that all you need to do is focus on seeing the clients and kissing them, which will get you through more business faster. I'll handle the actual process of getting paid the money, which will make the whole business venture run more efficiently. Then he starts getting other girls because he finds out that other girls are doing it too. So then he starts adding them to his team with the same setup, and he's like, "Okay, here, I'll hold on to all the money so that none of you decide to start spending this on something else." And we're all gonna pool our money together and all this kind of shit going on. So then Kyle, because Kyle's always the smarter one of the boys, he says, he's like, "Butters, what you're doing is pimping." So Butters is like, "Oh, there's a name for it." So then Butters, he fucking Googles pimping. So then there's a big pimp convention in Denver, and he fucking goes to it. And it's, it's this fucking hilarious moment where like a bunch of pimps actually teach him pimping. So then he comes back to town, and he's is the whole point of the episode where all the comedy comes from the way
What'll
he
it
starts
be?
behaving. And
How hard do you want to go?
there's this great moment where they're in class, and Butters is literally talking to every girl in the class, and he's all like, he's just trying to get him to join his
You've got
fucking
this.
his crew of hoes, his stable of hoes. So he's talking to Wendy. Now remember, Wendy is Stan's girlfriend.
Right, yeah. I remember Wendy.
You've got this.
So he's all like, "Wendy, you gotta be putting that mouth to work. You gotta be out in the
Looking
schoolyard
good.
kissing fellas. You could make so much money. You could buy yourself anything you wanted."
You've got
And
this.
she's like, "Butters, what the fuck?" So then Stan gets involved, and he's all like, "Butters, dude, knock it off."
Looking
And he's all like,
good.
"Wendy, you're a stupid bitch. You know that?
Perfect.
Because you're out here giving Stan kisses for free. When you
Looking
could be giving
good.
kisses to lots of fellas for money. Make yourself some motherfucking money." Stan's all
Looking
like,
good.
"Butters, if you don't knock this shit off, I'm gonna kick your ass." So then fucking Butters, he hands Clyde $100 bill. He's like, "Clyde, here's $100
You
bucks.
got
Stan, come
this.
near me, punch him."
Looking good. Perfect. Looking good. Great job. I'm so proud. Let's do this again sometime.
And now I've got 2 YouTube videos I need to look up right now. The first is Butters pimping. Second one after that is Knights of the Republic Dantooine Family Feud breakdown.
Was Dantooine the planet that Princess Leia lied about when she said it was the rebel base was there?
Yes,
Okay.
that was the planet she lied about to try to get to save Alderaan.
Alright guys, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for tonight. We went for a couple hours here on Fire Emblem. See you guys in the morning. Tomorrow should be a lot of LEGO Star Wars. That's what's planned. I'm going to run some ads and turn the stream off. See you guys tomorrow, or later today.